What's up guys, welcome to another review of Go-Go Power Rangers. This time we're up to issue 10, still in the Shattered Grid arc, and let's get right into it right now. Let's waste no time and start the review. Comic Review. Comic review. So once again, issue 10 opens up in the world of the Coinless, where we see Kimberly and Bulk on patrol, scanning the area, and they're looking at all the sentries, seeing if everything's clear. And as they're looking at all the zones, Kimberly's got all these names for the sentries. She calls them Mastodon Trunks, she calls the Saber-Tooth Tigers Kitties, and they're just scanning the area to see what they can do. And there's roughly Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 5, and Zone 6. And Zone 5 is Lord Dracon's base that we've seen in the regular comic. And Zone 6 is the high school, and if you look at the high school, I can't tell if this is just I can't tell if this is desert surrounding it or something else, but I'm guessing it's water. But it kind of looks like they've turned the high school in some sort of Alcatraz-like place, and I think we did see that in the actual comic, in the main series comics, in the Mighty Morphin comic, when Billy and Tommy first arrived in that world. No, I can't remember correctly, but I think that's the high school I'm thinking of, that they turned into some sort of weird Alcatraz stuff, or some sort of museum dedicated to Finster. But while Kimberly and Bulk are on the rip, they have this banter back and forth saying how they miss high school, and Bulk says, I kind of miss history class, and Kimberly goes, I always thought you were some sort of big dumb bully, and Bulk goes, well, I always thought you were some spoiled valley girl. And after that, they kind of banter on, and Bulk says, thank you for saving the world so many times, I never thought I'd be teaming up with the Pink Ranger as the world's gone to hell. And you see Kimberly having some sort of look of regret on her face, like she doesn't like the decision she's made, or she doesn't like the choices she's made so far to get here in this world of the Coinless timeline. So that's where the page ends, and I'm curious to see where this is going, because I'm guessing, like I mentioned at the start of the review, this is all going to be built up for when we finally see her turn heel and discover that she's a Ranger Slayer, or Lord Drakon turns her into the Ranger Slayer. So I'm curious to see how she gets to that point in her life in a few more issues. I'm guessing it's going to be in the next issue, or issue 12, where we finally see that point in life where she turns, but we'll get there when we get there in roughly about 2 months or so we'll find out eventually. We then cut to the present day where the Rangers are in high school, and I want to point out just the colouring of the difference between the high school life and the flashbacks, or the flash forwards to the world of the Coinless, where everything in the high school is all bright and colourful, and then when you see panels in the world of the Coinless, it's got this dark and grimy look to it, the smudges, the colours are very smudged and brown and stuff, where when you look at the panels that it'll be showing you for the high school stuff, everything's all bright and colourful. You see some dark stuff, probably due to the lighting and stuff, but if you look at something on the World of the Coinless panel, compared to a high school life panel or present day panel, everything's all colourful compared to World of the Coinless, where everything's all dark and grimy, and that's a cool touch that the artist or the colourist has done there, so props to them. So anyway, high school life. You see Bulk about to throw a water balloon or a water bomb at Billy, and as he's throwing it at Billy and Trini, they're just chatting about Kimberly and how she's doing, and as Bulk throws the water balloon, Billy triggers, I don't know, I want to call it Ultra Instinct as a joke, because he just jumps in front of Trini, catches it with his arm, and tosses it back like it's nothing, and it just hits Bulk right in the face. And this is where I said it looks really colourful, because you see how bright the sky is, you see how red Bulk's truck, or Toyota, whatever you want to call it, his truck, I don't know, different names, different countries, but you see how bright his car is, and even when he's like splashed with water, you see how bright like the skin colouring is, and how he's soaked with water. It looks really cool. It looks really cool, and like I said, really bright. We then cut to Kimberly lecturing Matt and how she's upset that he hasn't been returning his phone calls or her texts, or anyone's phone calls and texts, and saying how they're worried about her. And in the panel where she's pointing at him, she looks very, very anime-like with how she's drawn here, or very cartoonish anime-like, because you see her eyes, you see her pointing. It's a very Phoenix Wright anime style where she's saying, objection, and she's pointing at Matthew. But anyways, she goes, you better start talking or I'm going to slam your head into the locker. Don't test me. And Matt's very flirty. She goes, you know, you're kind of hot when you're violent. And she says, don't flirt your way out of this one, Matthew. And she goes, we've all got a lot of crazy stuff in our lives, so we can't tell anyone, but we're your friends, we're here to help you. And then Matt leans down and whispers to Kimberly and goes, psst, psst, look, I'm not talking to you guys because I'm mad, it's because I think I'm special. And then it cuts to the next panel where Matt has this whole X-Files conspiracy thing hooked up. You see when aliens attack, you see him doing research on stuff like angels and dinosaurs and aliens, demons, stuff like that. It's cool seeing the angels thing, because I think that connects to the Sentai somehow, where the Megazord in the Sentai is some sort of like being from the heavens or something like that, because if you watch the opening you see them in the clouds and they're like sort of gifts from the gods or something like, I can't remember. Zyuranger was weird, I need to watch it again. But demons is another thing that's sort of connected to Zyuranger, I believe, because I think Bandora summons Satan in the Sentai. That's what they call Loki, they call him Satan. But I love his little crude drawings of the Rangers. You see one with the Yellow Ranger, Trini, and she's got this really big long neck on the angle that it's been drawn on the little board. He must have taken a photo of it of a bad angle, but it looks so funny just looking at it, where it's just sort of this square photo, it's got this long neck sticking out. But Matt's doing some research and he thinks that he's connected to all of this, that's why he got abducted. And he goes, I want radio silence, I'm trying to protect you guys that I think I'm involved in all of this somehow. And he goes, but the Rangers are too. Yeah, is that what he says? Yeah, and then he goes, but the Rangers are too. And then Kimberly goes, okay, let's take a step back here. Maybe you've just been extremely unlucky and that's why all this stuff happens to you. And he's like, sure. And Matt's like, sure, maybe, maybe not. But do you expect anyone to believe me? And that's why he's doing all this, because he wants to track down the Rangers and see what he has to do. He wants to discover what the heck is going on, because he thinks some sort of weird conspiracy thing is going on. Now, I really hope Matt sticks around after Shattered Grid. I mean, people are suspecting that he gets killed off because he's not in the main story anymore, but he got brought up in the mainline comic when Shattered Grid started in issue 25, so he must be still around, or maybe he left town or something like that, and he's going to show up eventually. But people think he's going to get killed off. I think he's probably going to leave town. I don't think he's going to get killed off, but if he does get killed off, I don't want to see him get killed off, because I've grown accustomed to Matt being this wacky alien conspiracy character now, which I've met people like that in real life, where they just think everything's connected to aliens, or they believe in alien conspiracies and stuff like that. And that's cool if you're watching this and you believe in stuff like that, but I've met people like that, and it just makes me chuckle when I look at Matt, that he reminds me of someone that I've worked with, or someone who I've known who believes in those alien conspiracies. But anyway, moving on, next page. Now, these next pages are awfully sad and probably awfully realistic to anyone who can relate to this. Not talking to a giant wizard in a tube, but it's Jason talking to Zordon saying, something's wrong with my dad, he won't tell me what's wrong, and I want to help him. And he's asking if Zordon can use his wizard magic, or if he's got some sort of device that Alpha can whip up to help him. And he goes, you cheated death yourself, Zordon, can you please help me? And Zordon goes, despite how I appear, I had my powers of limitation. And Jason's like, I know I sound selfish asking to help my dad, and I want you to help him out so badly, but it's his dad and he doesn't want to lose him. And then Jason's crying on this panel, where you see tears rolling down his eyes, going, can you make an exception just this once? And then Zordon goes on this big speech saying how he's watched many loved ones pass away, more than he can count. He's witnessed innocent people dying, and those in his charge met their end. That's an interesting line, because he goes, and the innocent die, and even those sent in my charge to their end. So that's referring to the earlier Power Ranger team that we saw in issue 20 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where the the team he sent to the moon with Grace died, and most of those Rangers were killed off by Psycho Ranger Green. And Zordon has a lot of guilt for getting that team killed, because he sent people who were inexperienced into battle. And Jason is still begging, he's saying, can you please help? And Zordon goes, there's nothing I can do to help you, I'm sorry. If I would if I could, but you have to deal with this. And Jason walks away defeated. He's sort of slumping the way it's drawn, like you see him walking to the darkness in the command center. And Zordon has this line going, I protect mankind not only from evils in Yeah, as Jason walks away, Zordon has this line going, I protect mankind not only from those evils in in the corners of space, but also from themselves. I try to do what's best for you. So that's a pretty deep line, and it kind of sucks that Jason can't do anything to save his dad, because his dad's got an illness and he might die, and Jason doesn't want to lose his dad. And this is probably relatable to anyone who's had a loved one or a friend or a family member who have an illness that they can't cure and they want to save them. So Jason's going through a lot of pain right now, and it's probably going to affect him during the next few issues, how we see him deal with that loss. I mean, I'm hoping we get to see him confront his father again, because it seems like the dynamic that those characters have are very, very interesting. But anyways, it's a sad thing that Jason's unable to help his dad, and we'll see where it goes later down the line. We then cut to the Rangers in high school, but that is cut short as the GraveZord is attacking downtown, and the GraveZord gets this one big page spread to itself, and it looks amazing. I mean, I always get corrected on what the GraveZord looks like, how it's a mix and match between the Thunderzords and the White Tiger Zord, and it looks so cool seeing it up close in this panel, because we've never seen it up close, like in good proper lighting. We've seen it like silhouetted in the dark, or we've seen just sketches of it from teasers and preview panels, but seeing it up close in the light in a cool pose makes it look really, really cool. And the Rangers leave high school and they think of an excuse. I think Jason pulls the is it Jason or Matt? Either one of them. No, you know it's Matt. Matt pulls the fire alarm and everyone's able to escape and morph in time and get in their Dinozords, and they meet the GraveZord downtown and they square off of it, and this looks really cool the way it's drawn, where it's just standing there. All the Zords are surrounding, which is another thing I love about this comic, or these comics, where the Rangers will confront stuff in the Zords and then form the Megazord later on. They use tactics to take it on with their Zords separately before fighting it. And as they're fighting it off, Kimberly has all these quirks saying how she's done all this stuff before, so she knows the tricks they're going to do. Like when Zack tries to freeze it, she goes, "Zack, I've seen this all before and I've done them." And she easily knocks away their Zords. She's easily fighting them off with ease. It then cuts to the command center. This is where it gets really crazy. It then cuts to the command center, and Zordon is talking to Alpha 5 saying, the Ranger Zord has been crafted from other Zords, there might be a weakness. And then as he tries to say the weakness, you just hear him scream, and I don't know if he's been cut off from the morphing grid, but you see that the Ranger Slayer, or Ranger Slayer Kimberly, I'm going to have to call her that so things don't get complicated, Ranger Slayer Kimberly is able to use her power coin to get into the command center, and she has this really laid back line going, "Hey Alpha, long time no see." And she goes, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" No, Alpha goes, "Why are you doing this?" And then she just leans forward, and it's this really cool panel where you see Alpha's head reflected in her visor, and she goes, why am I doing this? Maybe I just want to see how many wires I can yank out before you beg me to stop. And that's a really cool line, how she's just leaning down and getting right into Alpha's face. It looks so cool. And then it cuts to Rita on the moon. Yay, Rita on the moon. And I never have anything interesting to talk about Rita on the moon, because she has this one line saying, yeah, whoever wins, get ready for a surprise, whoever wins. And then it cuts to the Rangers fighting, and they're trying to fight off the GraveZord. And you find, well, I should point out that Kimberly is controlling the GraveZord by a remote. So that's why she's not in there, she's stuck in the command center. And they're trying to find out what's going on. They find out that Zordon's gone, and I don't know if he's going to be gone forever, sort of like in the Green with Evil storyline. Maybe he was cut off temporarily. But as they're fighting off the GraveZord, and Jason's trying to figure out everything that's going on, you see the GraveZord leaning down, and you see the Thunder Red Zord, or the Thunder, I can't remember what it's called, Thunder Dragon Zord we'll call it. Yeah, Thunder Dragon Zord, whatever you want to call it. The big red one that looks like a snake. He's got his mouth opened up and it's just shooting out fire, and the way it's drawn, it looks so menacing. It's got its mouth opened up and it's just shooting flames of fire right in front of the Tyrannosaurus Zord. And as they're fighting off the GraveZord, Matt jumps in and he just runs past the police line, and the police are very lazy to do anything. They chase after him, but they have this line going, he's probably just trying to get a selfie with the Megazord. We better find him before he does something stupid. And Matt just waves down the Zords and he's getting involved, and I don't know why he's doing this. He's incredibly stupid, getting himself in the line of fire of all these falling buildings, and we never find out what's going to happen about him because it cuts away to the final few pages as the falling debris is about to land him. I'm guessing he's going to get saved at the last minute by Kimberly controlling the Pterodactyl Zord by remote control, because Jason can't do anything in the Tyrannosaurus Zord. He's got tiny arms. But it then cuts to World of the Coinless Kimberly, or Ranger Slay Kimberly, just messing up Alpha. It looks so brutal what she's doing. She's like sliced off half of his head and you see all these wires, and Alpha's trying to call out for Zordon, and Ranger Slayer Kimberly goes, "Zordon can't help you, Alpha. That quantum field disruptor is stretching his brain like a rubber band." Oh, so that's what she did. She just used a quantum disruptor, something sciencey. But she goes, "However, if you give me access to a sub-spectrum long-range communication array, I'll let you both leave in peace." And she goes, "What do you say?" And Alpha just goes, "Aye, aye, aye." So what Kimberly is looking for is a communication to talk to Lord Drakon somehow, some way, to reach out to him, because we all know that she jumped back in time too far, and that's why she's in this timeline right now. So no doubt she's going to try and get some sort of communication to contact Lord Drakon wherever he is right now in the main comic. And then it ends with the final panel where it goes, where Kimberly goes, where our Kimberly goes, good Kimberly goes, "Hey Kimberly," and she goes, "Take your hands off my robot," and she jumps out and she fires her bow at World of the Coinless Kimberly. World of the Coinless Kimberly. And that's where the comic ends. So issue 10 of Go-Go Power Rangers. It was a fun issue. I enjoyed it. I mean, we get to see more into World of the Coinless Kimberly's life before she becomes Ranger Slayer Kimberly. We get to see their school life some more, which is like the highlight of Go-Go Power Rangers most of the time, because I love this slice of life stuff. Matt getting involved in the story is really fun, because I thought he'd be taking a back seat for a few more issues, but he's getting involved right away, which is good, because Matt's a fun character. I'm enjoying his little alien conspiracy and how he wants to get involved. The GraveZord looks awesome, really awesome, and yeah, we'll see where it goes next week, because no doubt issue 11 will pick up where this fight left off, and we'll see more of it. I mean, I'm curious to see what happens. I mean, they've got to fight off Ranger Slayer Kimberly. Rita's going to get involved, no doubt about it. Rita's weird for these comics. I mean, she had a big part in the first arc of this comic, and now she's sort of taken a back seat during the Shattered Grid stuff. I mean, we saw her once before Shattered Grid started, and that was her getting info on the green candle. And that's about it. So whatever the heck is going on with this comic, or whatever the heck is going on with Rita in this comic, she's taking a bit of a back seat while the spotlight can be put on Lord Drakon and the Ranger Slayer. So no doubt once this is over, we'll cut to more of her doing stuff again. But anyways, I enjoyed the issue. Like I said, I enjoyed the art. It's very anime-like. The colours are very poppin' and vibrant. So once again, another good issue from Go-Go Power Rangers, and we'll see where the story continues in issue 11 that comes out next month, I believe. But stick around on the channel later on this month where Mighty Morphin issue 28 comes out, where it continues the battle in Shattered Grid with Lord Drakon, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Time Force Rangers, and RPM, and a bunch of other Rangers as well. So we'll be covering that later on down the month. I think midway through the month. I think roughly about next week or after E3 when that issue comes out. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review of Go-Go Power Rangers issue 10, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Your support is greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day and peace out.